Hey there, everyone. Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving into a story that's both fascinating and a little bit scary, the complex world of superannuation and who gets your money when you die. Now, I know what you're thinking, who cares about superannuation? But trust me, this is way more interesting than you think. So, buckle up, and let's explore why more than 15.5 million Australians might have no say in who inherits their superannuation. Personally, I think this is a huge deal, and it's time we shed some light on it. What makes this really interesting is the power that super funds have over our money. When you die, your superannuation doesn't automatically become part of your estate or pass according to your will. Instead, it's held in a trust managed by a superannuation fund trustee, who has the discretion to decide who inherits the money. Now, that's a lot of responsibility, and it's not always handled well. In the case of Brooke Allen, her uncle's superannuation was supposed to be split equally between her and her cousin. But the super fund, CBUS, decided that the estranged son was the sole beneficiary and awarded him the entire payout. Now, this isn't just about the money, it's about the request of someone who is deceased. Why do we bother nominating anyone if these companies aren't going to abide by their wishes? From my perspective, this case highlights the importance of having a binding death benefit nomination. But here's the catch, more than 15.5 million people in Australia haven't nominated who inherits their superannuation when they die. That's a huge number, and it's not just about the money, it's about the control that super funds have over our loved ones' legacies. Now, let's talk about the bigger picture. The regulator, ASIC, has been ramping up its surveillance of super funds and how long they take to pay out death benefit claims. And guess what? They found that claims with no nomination or a non-binding nomination took the longest to process. This raises a deeper question: why are super funds not doing a better job of letting people know about the importance of binding death benefit nominations? In my opinion, this is a failure of communication and awareness. Now, let's talk about the law. Under current laws, there are strict rules about who can be an eligible beneficiary, such as a partner, children, or someone who is financially dependent. But the super fund has total discretion to decide who the beneficiary is. This means that even if you have a nomination, the super fund can choose to ignore it. Now, let's talk about the impact. The findings from Super Consumers Australia's survey are alarming. Only 10% of people were contacted by their fund about making a binding death benefit nomination, and only 13% said they already had one. That means 87% of people surveyed reported not having a binding death benefit nomination. This could mean years of delay before the money gets paid out to the people who love you. Now, let's talk about the solutions. The federal government is considering whether to change the law to include mandatory timeframes for super funds to respond to insurance claims, including death benefit claims. But some argue that this shouldn't apply to complex cases, like those with multiple families or beneficiaries. Personally, I think we need to simplify the process. We need to make it easier for people to set up non-lapsing binding nominations, and we need to remove the concept of non-binding nominations altogether. In my opinion, the government should change the rules so that who you leave your super to can be part of your will, without the need for a separate binding nomination with your super fund's trustee. Now, let's talk about the future. Super funds are vowing to do better, and some are already digitizing the process of making non-lapsing nominations. But we need to keep pushing for more transparency and accountability. In conclusion, the story of Brooke Allen and her uncle's superannuation is a wake-up call for all of us. It highlights the importance of having a binding death benefit nomination and the power that super funds have over our money. So, what do you think? Are you going to set up a binding death benefit nomination? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.